Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Andrew Tropin and I'm friend open source software developer, author of Guix Home and RD projects. On this stream series we talked about development tools and practices, shared a part of my usual working day, and traveled towards a sustainable ethical business. The stream series lasted for 30 working days, and today we will discuss some intermediate results, and also I will share some thoughts that I get during the stream series. Of course, not of all my thoughts, but the one I was able to capture in the text. Okay. Let's start from a small recap of what we did. After that, we discuss why we did it and what we planned. And after that, we will discuss what we achieved. First thing will be, less technical and more related to actual business. The second part will be more technical. And we started with discussion of different business-related topics. Actually, we not started the stream series, but we discussed during the stream series some various business-related topics like taxes, business models, contracts, companies, residents, and so on. Also, we created a legal entity. Actually, it was done slightly before the stream series, but still I highlighted some ideas from it. Also bank accounts for this legal entity, checked out taxes workflow, how to do some different paperwork and so on. We discussed approach to work. It was, quite generic, mostly applicable for mostly in application to software development, but I guess it works for almost any other type of work. We discussed long-term and short-term strategies, and I think it's quite clear that most of the things that I do is long-term, so it's not a surprise that we didn't get some meaningful results in the first few days of the stream series, and I guess the work that was done during the stream series will keep bring some benefits during the course of a few months or maybe even years. Also, a lot of technical topics was covered. First one is kind of intermediate between technical and non-technical, is related to a streaming setup. I will explain a little later why it was important step in our journey. Also, we improved RD documentation and some processes. We improved mailing workflow, which also simplifies life and increase our productivity, and also kind of related to our work. Actually, it's very tightly related to our work, but it's also related to free and open source software business, I guess. We created a test infrastructure and tooling. Currently, it's implemented in RD project, but later it may become more generic and available in different guild projects as well. We helped to package 3-seater. We experimented with structural editing and navigation. We added support for 3-seater in emacs, and we get the contributions from different people, combined them, cleaned up, and added them to guix repository. Also, we contributed a bunch of other different things to different free and open source softwares, mainly to guix and RD, of course, but for some other minor projects as well. Not only the code, but also some comments, feature requests, reporting issues, and so on. We explored Nginx project and implemented serializer for Nginx configuration, which is also seems not very related to the business, but can be quite beneficial in the long term. And let's start from the streaming setup and why it was important. Actually, the part of any business, not almost any business, is finding clients, finding contacts, and streaming setup is directly related to it, because you can spread the word and interact with a wider audience and find more people who have similar ideas, who have similar beliefs, and so on. So you can find your possible partners, or maybe just people who can help you, who can direct you, or something else. And this was maybe a relatively small step, but it simplified the possibility to make new content, and of course to find more people to interact with, and to build a better community. And actually, it's not only important for our business, but it's also beneficial for people who watch it, and I will tell about it a little later. The other cool things about, for example, nginx point, that first of all, it's an example of free open source software project, which allows the authors to survive at least, and to have a foot on their tables, and so we can use it as an example, but also we can use nginx as a software project and as a program, and it's also will be beneficial for our future business, at least because nginx is really widespread, and it's very likely that we will use it in our daily life. And building some tooling for making nginx deployment will help us here, but also, and probably our customers, or maybe some other parties, but it also will help to maintain our own infrastructure for web pages and maybe blogs or streaming setups and so on. Okay, let me take a sip. Hello, Mikhail. Good luck in your FOSS journey. Anything is better than enterprise development. Yep, maybe, very likely. Thank you very much for your support. Why we did it, I keep telling why those points were important, and here I even wrote them down. The first one is to prepare the foundation for future contracts. We have all the stuff already done, and the only thing that is left to us is actually find a parties and make contracts with them and do actual work. The other stuff is already prepared. Also, not only a paperwork is ready, but also some technical work is already here, which can help us to do our business. The second point is to practice, automate, and simplify communication with wide audience. I already covered it here, talking about streaming setup. Actually, if you do very beautiful thing, very beautiful project, you are really smart, but you don't interact with any people, probably nobody will know it. Probably nobody will know what you do. So you won't be able to build anything, to build a community, to build a business, or something else. And to some extent, it's really important to have this ability to communicate with a wide audience. The third point is improvements to RD development process and making RD more autonomous and scalable. It's another important step towards our goal of free and open source software business. Because it's quite time consuming to manage even this, I don't know, small to medium sized project like RDE. And making it more autonomous and scalable makes the development processes clearer and better, helps to kind of step off the development process at least partially, and do other things, and maybe come back later, or even to give the responsibilities of maintaining project to some other people. And it also prevents the buzz factor, like decreases the buzz factor radically. Contribution to a bunch of different projects helps to benefit the whole community, helps to benefit the projects, but also helps to benefit ourselves. Sometimes there's a cool free and open source software project, but you can't use it because it contains some bug or some problem, or it doesn't support your workflow. By contributing, you get the possibility to use this project and utilize its full potential. Of course, we did a lot of things for fun. If you do all the work and you are tired and sad of doing it, what is the reason to do it on the first place? If it doesn't bring you any fun, maybe it's not worth it to do it at all. And for example, Treesizer was a fun part of the stream series. I don't need Treesizer right now, and probably I won't need it in a few more months. But it still was an interesting experience to bring a Treesizer in the guix and to help Pierre to finish his long patch series and get it merged finally to guix. So it is the one point. The second point is long-term investments. We make things more accessible, for example, Treesizer for guix users, and it can inspire other people to try to use it, to build packages on top of it, and maybe in a few months when I will be doing something related to structural editing of source code, which can actually happen in my life, I guess, I will already see some solutions which maybe even have a good quality, or maybe just a draft that I can use as a foundation for my future work. So it's a fun but also a long-term investments in the future. And of course, the last point about Nginx is also a foundation for future work, for future interaction with possible customers or other parties or partners. And it's important to have a good tooling, tools which helps to do things much easier and much better. Of course, we achieved almost all of this. It was not all our goals from the beginning. This was iterative process. We do some things, we understand that we need also something, and we plan to do it, and so on, and we get the ideas of what to do next. And we already achieved almost all of this. Also, we get some additional things. Some of them was also kind of expected, some of them was new to me. We get a good foundation for the future work already. There are a lot of work in this direction, but we already have a lot. Also, doing streams every working day make it much easier to me to talk in English. I can do it loudly and confidently. I still not a perfect English speaker, but at least right now it's much easier than it was before. Even when I had streams once in 2 weeks or once in a month, it was quite hard and stressful every time. But right now it's much easier to me. Also, through this stream series, I fought perfectionism quite hard. I didn't have enough time to prepare, the whole outline, which is very detailed, to prepare the complete plan for my stream. I had to improvise a lot. I had to make some compromises, to make some decisions, and make not perfect streams. Maybe not that interesting as educational ones. Maybe a little longer that usual attention span of the people, but I did them, and that's important. It's very important to start and do something, and after that you can iterate and improve it. But if you paralyzed by the perfectionism, you just don't do anything. So it's also a good and kind of unexpected benefit from this stream series. I get a lot of support from the community, like messages on Mastodon, on my email. Some people asked me if I accept donations. Some people asked me if I'm looking for a position in some development projects. And some people just say that they enjoy what I do, they enjoy the streams, they enjoy the projects I participate in, they enjoy my commitment in free and open source software. They glad to see how those projects grows, and many other nice things, which is really heartwarming, and I actually really appreciate it. Also, I had a few calls and discussions on different projects, ideas, possible businesses, and probably I will have even more of them. And also I have some leads that can bring first customers to my future free and open source software business, and I really glad that I started this stream series. Maybe those leads came not from the stream series exactly, but from my previous streams, which I started a while ago. But still, it has happened during the stream series, so I place this stuff here and just share it with you. I can't tell too much details because something I wouldn't like to share without consent with other people, and something I don't have details yet. So I will share my progress on Mastodon, I guess, and also probably I will do some future streams on the topic on free and open source software business. But right now, I just wanted to say that I already have those leads and have those calls, and it's good and it's quite promising. When I get more concrete details, I would like to share it with you, and let me know what you think so far. Here is my contacts. First one is my Mastodon account, and you can join the Fediverse and write a message here. And the second one is my email. Don't hesitate to write down some ideas, to share some thoughts with me, ask questions, or maybe propose some future ideas. Okay, also I have a list of random thoughts that, I came up during the stream series, and I would like to share with you as a part of this report on the, overall experience during the stream series. I already talked about it, and I said that it's a good idea to do things in small steps, but do them actually. And this thought applies to this report. Actually, I made the part of this report by writing down some thoughts during the stream series, but most of the part I wrote down today, and it was quite hard. I spent a lot of time on it. I didn't work on my software development duties, didn't review patches, didn't write any code, and if I did, every time I had a thought, I wrote down the small thought in the report somewhere. It will be much easier to finish this thing. But luckily, I do a lot of things this way, like prepare some small things, do some small steps, which can synergize together and provide a great results in the long term. Another very generic thought that's already probably mentioned in this stream series, that many things can be understood only by doing those things. When you're practicing something, you get much more details about the subject and understand it much more deeply, and actually understand what to do next. If you only plan to do something without actually doing, you may be very, very wrong in some cases, and that is why I advise you to start doing things as early as possible. It's always good to have some upfront planning and sometimes to get a wider view of the subject and understand the whole ecosystem around, but without doing anything, you won't achieve anything. So don't forget about it. Another expected outcome, that working during live streams is quite hard. I already knew it, but on this stream series I did quite a lot of work. Like I spent hour to 2 hours doing some coding, and it is not the easy task. It's hard to focus, it's hard to concentrate. It's hard to think about some abstractions, about deep details of your source code. So I did almost, high-level tasks which are not very hard, because otherwise I either stop reacting to anything around me and stop talking, or I can't do it. So it's quite obvious, but still I would like to share it with you. Of course, I have a few ideas about streaming. First one is about timing. I stream quite earlier for European people. It's around 8 a.m. UTC, I guess, and it's around 12 a.m., 12 p.m. For me. So maybe it's not the best time, because many people wrote me that they can't join live. So future streams probably will be later for Europeans, and people from United States probably won't join anyway, because it will be a night for them. But still, I think that for next streams I will adjust the schedule and will do it a little later. Also, optimal stream time is less than an hour. After an hour I feel already tired, and probably the people who are watching also tired as well. And it's with our modern attention span is hard to watch such a long series, and the education series that I had before was usually less than an hour long, and I think they're quite good. I don't get tired, people who watch and don't get tired, and that's optimal. also, I think that it would be cool to make a stream series with quite short videos, like from 5 to 10 minutes, and do a stream of a series of videos on some particular topic, which will be even more easier to watch and to benefit from. Also related to PeerTube. There were not much PeerTube activity, a few subscribers, new subscribers, but it was not too much YouTube activity as well, and this probably because of the format of the stream series, but also because PeerTube is a little less popular than YouTube. But what I would like to say, PeerTube still lacks some feature, but it is developed by one person, by one non-profit organization, who is part of one non-profit organization, and it's already quite close to be a competitor to YouTube, probably the biggest service in the world, and I'm quite glad to see it. And also, I saw that some improvements are coming to PeerTube in the next release, which I'm liking right now. And I guess PeerTube can have a good future, and it's nice to support this project if you can do it. Okay, more attempts means more data to analyze. It's somehow similar to many things can be understood only by doing, and when you do a lot of things, you get more feedback, you get more data, you get more connections in your brain, and can do better things, can do things better, and so on. Of course, it's the next point is also somehow related to more attempts and to doing things. When I did this stream series, every time, every day, I get a few more ideas for the next stream, for the video or something else. I didn't have time to prepare all of them, and I won't have time to prepare all of them, I guess, in the future. But you do things, you discover some things around you, and get more ideas, get more inspiration, and so on. Content marketing. It has some negative connotation, marketing in general, but it's actually an important part of any project, not actually profitable project, but any project. If nobody knows about your project, you don't have users, you don't bring any value to the world, what's the reason for this project? Maybe only to play with it and get some enjoyment from it, but usually you need some marketing for the project, and content marketing is a good tool that can be used here. And what we do, we did educational streams previously. We did this stream series, which is kind of live coding of different things like RDE, or maybe patching Qt, OBS, or something else, packaging tree-seater, exploring structural editing, and it's useful for people who view it. It can inspire, it can share some insights, it can get some provide some knowledge, and it also be beneficial for me. It's also beneficial for projects I work on, like guix and RDE, and it also beneficial for future free and open source software business that I plan to make. And a few more related ideas to content marketing and to videos. I would like to make a text blog, which will contain some technical stuff. but in a written form, because many times I would like to prepare a simple paper or a simple blog post instead of making a video, and reuse it in various scenarios, like sending to as an answer to frequently asked questions, or to provide as a tutorial for some technology. And different people prefer different formats, and text format may be more approachable for some people who can't or don't watch long videos. And also it's much more compact and less wasteful. It doesn't need a gigabytes of storage to store it, and it's much easier to produce. I can do it just by typing text in my text editor. Also, I would like to make a high quality video series, like not the streams, but an actually video series, educational one, and I have a few ideas that I will describe later today. And also it would be cool to make offline meetups, to make not only online community, but also offline community for guix project, for functional programming projects and ideas. And this is actually what is quite possible, interesting, and maybe even beneficial for the business too, because you get more contacts, you get more people who are interested in the topics you're interested, and who maybe can help you to create the business, or find some customers, or find some partners, and so on. And another idea is to make offline classes. There are a few ideas behind it. First one is sharing some knowledge to people, like open universities and other stuff. The second is to grow the community of some projects like RD, guix, functional programming related community, and maybe some other communities. And to prepare for video series, like I can make offline classes to bring some material to test it, and after that update it, reconstruct, and make a better structured series, and make videos from it. And talking about video series, let me see the comments first, and we'll continue about stream series topics. Text block is nice. Michael says text blocks are nice. I think many people, including me, can't watch your streams because they have work at a company at that time. Yep, it's true. I already talked about timings of the streams, and also about format. Even if you have time to watch a stream, maybe you would prefer to skim through the article, and it's much easier to skim through the text rather than video, even if it has the chapters at the bottom of the player, of the video player, but still text format sometimes can be preferable. But we will see what we can do it about it, and maybe I will even do a stream on how to make a setup for blogs. Okay, about video ideas. I have a list of exact topics, but general series I see will be the following. I won't be enumerating all the ideas that I have in mind and I written down. I will talk about general direction of those series. First one is of course guix. you know, it's nice to bring some value to the guix community and to make other people easier understand the concepts and tools that guix provides. Of course, it's also interesting for me to talk about RDE, because you know, this is a project on top of guix, which brought a guix home to guix, and also has a lot of interesting ideas inside, and which also incorporates some workflows related to development. So it's not only about the project itself, but also about approaches that people use for developing software. Scheme series or programming, functional programming series or programming languages series, everything related to it is also interesting for me, and seems very beneficial for the community, especially the scheme series, because you know, it seems like a scheme, the old language without tooling. It's too academic, it's not production ready. It looks like this for external viewer, and it even feels like this when you start working on it, but it's actually a very powerful language, which probably can grow in something much more better, and actually I guess it can be become even a widespread. I don't think it is really necessary, or it is even beneficial, but I can see how it can happen. Anyway, starting with scheme projects is quite challenging, at least from what I see and in my opinion, and I would like to improve the situation by bringing more tools, but also by bringing more educational materials on this topic, and explaining how to set up a project, and how to install libraries, how to get some things achieved with scheme, maybe even some basics of the scheme, but they already covered by many people in the books or other videos, including myself. Actually, I already had a few videos on scheme and its basics. Functional programming series is, you know, the extension or even a parallel things to the scheme series. We can talk about patterns, ideas, approaches used in functional programming to actually create a useful software, a real world software, and it's also interesting to me and can be beneficial for the community, so I would like to talk about it. We'll see what of this will become, you know, the next stream series that I will work on, but at least this is some ideas, and you can write me an email or contact me via other sources, and say what you actually think about it, and what you would like to see, and what more interesting to you. So probably, you know, I can adjust my plans, and if you're really interested in it, I would probably start with functional programming instead of scheme, or some other way around. And last but not least is paper reading club. Is something even more advanced than I expect from FP series, which will be a reading or discussing of some papers, computer science papers, probably mostly about computational environment, distributed computations, about programming languages, about functional programming, type theory, or maybe something else. So let me know if you're really interested in the advanced topics. I don't expect to start this series soon, but I also see how it can be interesting for many people. Okay, probably the most appropriate for the first series is scheme series, because it's quite generic and will help to get more people involved in the community of the guix project and of the functional programming in general. And after that, we can continue with the guix series, maybe RD series or functional programming series, and after that to get to the paper reading club or something like that. We'll see how it goes, and we'll get some feedback from our practice and adjust accordingly. Okay, about future plans. I already mentioned a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, but relatively short-term plans is to take a break from streams. You know, it's quite tiring to make streams, and it takes a lot of time, which I would like to spend on actual software development, on reading some documentation books, papers, and creating some value. That is why probably I won't stream in the nearest weeks, maybe 2, 3, or 4, and after that I will think and I will think about the schedule, and will come back to the streaming, or maybe doing a video series. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what feedback I will get. So it depends, and we will know it only in some time later in the future. Further in the future, whatever. Okay, I will keep working on free and open source software. I have a lot of patches which are not processed by myself because, you know, I don't have enough capacity. I spend time on streaming, I spend time on creating tools for testing and infrastructure for testing. I do a lot of other things. I have calls and so on. And, you know, I just see the patches. I very excited about them, but I just can't read them because I'm too tired to review or to apply them. And I have already a bunch of patches that I need to keep up with, but in the nearest future I would like to keep working on free and open source software and keep up with those patches. Of course, I would like to keep working on free and open source software for much longer than that, but still, it's a short-term plans. Of course, I would like to keep working on free and open source software business and to make more calls or maybe meetings and to discuss projects and the ideas and how we can, make them and how to benefit for our free and open source software projects like RD, maybe guix. And for myself personally, because, you know, I also need some food and some roof on top of me. That is why I will be working on it for a few more weeks. Of course, I always have a backup option to get, you know, a freelance work or some hired work, but still I have time, and I will spend this time going in this direction, and if I fail, I will use my fallback options. And we won't have any programming today because, you know, we already talked a lot, we already spent a lot of time, so let's conclude our stream. There is no working business yet, but there is already a foundation, and there are leads that which can lead to creation of this free and open source software business. I'm quite optimistic at the moment, and I hope we will be able to achieve it until I get out of resources to survive. So right now it looks quite promising, and I still excited and keep working on it. We already did and get a lot. We increase our pace, we keep improve our processes, we keep make projects more automated. I mostly talk about RD project, of course, but also it applicable to Guile projects in general and free and open source software in general. And I guess we will do even more great things. And that's it for today. I'm glad you joined, and I hope you enjoyed, and see you in a bit.